Hi, good evening everyone. Hope you're doing well and preparing well for the CAT 2021 exam. Welcome to India's one of the largest test prep platform, Gradeup. क्योंकि Gradeup के साथ सही prep है तो life set है. Today is another important session which will be covering regarding how the ecosystem is like at an IIM Ahmedabad. And I'll give you an in-depth insider overview of how life is at IIM Ahmedabad, how the academics work, what are the various extracurricular activities which take place, and how's the entire placement process which functions, and how basically is the life at the premier management school of India and also of the world. So I think it's very important for all of those MB aspirants who have Ahmedabad as this dream B school and want to get in and want to know how the life is there, how the ecosystem, and how all the things work once you are in your college of dreams. So, before I start the session, I request everyone to please comment, like, and share this video. Please feel free to ask any questions, any doubts you have, and clear all your doubts, because the idea of these session series is to help you to achieve your dream B school and build a promising and long lasting career for yourself. So that's the main motive, and it's very important to clear all those misconceptions which you have in your mind for your MBA and MBA preparation, so that you're able to focus fully well when you are appearing for the CAT 2021 exam, and subsequently for your interviews as well, based on the shortlists which you get. So please, I urge you all to please comment, please make the session more interactive so that I can answer most of the questions which you have. So without delaying, I would now like to start with the session. And I've broken down this session into three key areas. First is the academics, second the extracurriculars, and third is the placements or entrepreneurship systems which one might want to go into. So yes, hi, there's a account by the name G user. Hi, good evening. You asking what is the last day to apply? Uh, can you please be more clear with the question? For what date are you asking? We have a question from Ramya as well. It says how to solve the aptitude test. So Ramya, do you mean the CAT exam or do you mean the DILR section? What do you mean? Please be more specific in your questions. Hi Apeksha. Apeksha is asking, is it possible to clear CAT for average student? Yes, Apeksha. Yes, it's definitely possible. I think CAT is more about hard work and smart work. It is a test of your analytical abilities and your speed, and also how smartly are you able to answer questions in a limited amount of time. That also correctly. So I think definitely, I mean, so many people have seen, have cleared CAT and gone to good B schools and are having fulfilling careers now. And I think the definition of average needs to be defined here. What do you mean by average? Someone with a low academic score in maybe bachelor's or 10th, 12th, or someone maybe not good in extracurriculars. So I think the definition varies from person to person, and that depends from the lens which you are seeing. So I think that needs to be defined first. But I think personally, from my experience, anyone can crack CAT. I think what you all need to do is, have that dedicated, preparation, hard work, and smart work, I would say. So, yeah, the account by the name G user is asking, I mean, what to ask when's the last day to apply for CAT 2021? So actually, CAT 2021 forms are not yet open. The CAT website, the CAT convening committee, I think they'll still need they're still yet to come up with which IIM will be conducting the CAT and when the dates will be opening. So I think you should soon get a notification regarding the same in maybe in the month of July or maybe June. I think probably these are the tentative months when they usually release the roll out the CAT forms and admissions processes, etc. So I think that should be it. But as of now, for CAT 2021, I think there's no notification as such for now. Yeah. So yeah, Ramya's question is that how to solve logical reasoning problem as a commerce graduate student. Okay, Ramya, I think since you're specifically asking for DILR section of the CAD, I think basis my personal experience, I would say practice is the key. You need to be clear with the concepts, and you need to uh, be very thorough with the theory which you apply while solving those questions. So that's very important, I think, Ramya. And I think to solve logical reasoning, I would say please brush up your concept. Please be very clear of the basics of it, because what usually happens is during the exam you get questions in numerous diverse forms or twisted forms, but the essence or the basic is the same. So you need to understand that the basics should be clear actually, and then practicing, helps you not only become more confident, but also helps you look back upon the mistakes which you committed, maybe while solving a question and which went wrong actually. So the key is to solve and then analyze where you went wrong, and then make sure that it does not get repeated again. That's the key, I think, Ramya. And hi Manoj, hi Raisa. Manoj is asking, is there one develop new unique experience? Manoj, can you be please more specific with your question? I am not able to understand it properly. Can you please be more clear with the question, Manoj? Yeah, we have a question by Raisa. Raisa is asking, so which book should I follow for verbal ability? So, Raisa, I think for verbal ability, there are multiple books which are in the market, and I would not like to take any specific names of any books here, because the idea is not to recommend any book as such, because each and every book has their own pros and cons. I think you need to decide which best suits your current level of comprehension abilities of English, and your understanding of English, I think. But I think I would say that if you specifically want to go for a vocabulary enhancement book, personally I in my case refer to Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. That was my personal preference, but I think there are other books as well in the market. You can refer to them also. But my personal reference was for the Norman Lewis one, and for other books, for reading comprehension, etc. Personally, in my case, I refer to the books, of the verbal ability books published by some authors, for the CAT exam. But I think majorly what helped me was being constant in reading editorial articles, being very constant in reading novels every day, that also on diverse topics, and then also being very constant in giving the mock tests. The mock tests specifically helped me a lot, I would say, because as I'm stressing on the fact, practicing, I think practicing is very important, and also you know uh, looking back, pondering and analyzing your mocks which you've given. It should not be that you've just given the mocks and you're not analyzing them, you're not seeing where you went wrong. That should not be the case. So I think that is very important. Then hi Udit. Udit is asking which books for cat. Udit, I think it's a similar question to that of Raisa. I would say, I think choose books which best suit you. Don't go by books which are popular in the market, so called, because personally in my case, I also fell for those books, and I think those books did not work out for me. It's, I think, knowing which book suits you best, from which book you can gain maximum. And I think these days a lot of online resources also circulated, and maybe if you want to try out certain books, or you can ask your faculty or reach out to a counselor also regarding your preparation for CAT. They'll be happy to answer your queries and any questions you have, and also recommend you certain books which might be confused about. So I think I would definitely recommend you to choose your books wisely, I think. Hi Neha. Neha is asking, how can I improve my English or make it more stronger? Neha, I've covered this section, this section or this question in detail in my previous session, wherein I talked about how do you ace the VARC section of CAT, and I think I would strongly recommend you to refer to that session of mine, and I think it should be of immense help to you. So please refer to the session, I think. Hi Manoj, yeah. So Manoj is asking, how does one discover new hobby there? Okay, so I hope you're asking how does one discover new hobby at IIM Ahmedabad or maybe at any other premium B school. I think Manoj, there are multiple societies, multiple clubs which are there in college, and you know, a management school or a business school, it's just not solely about academics. Obviously the rigor is there. Obviously, there's a lot of uh, lot of pressure, academic pressure on the students. But then there are lighter moments as well, which you get to explore while being a part of clubs, while also being a part of numerous courses, guest lectures, networking events, etc. And I think the best way to discover one's new hobby is by actively being involved in the ecosystem, I would say. There's so many things which take place while you are at, specifically if I were to take the case of Ahmedabad. Since I have been there, I know how it went, like there. So there's multiple things which go out in a day, and it's upon you how you prioritize, how you channelize your energies into numerous activities. So you have to proactively choose what you want to, go into basically. So that's the importance of prioritizing and then finding a hobby. So the beauty of so many clubs is that you can be a part of any club, see whether you like that activity or not, and then maybe that is how you realize what you like and what you do not like. So that's the importance, and I think that is how you develop that new hobby. Yeah, I think before taking up more questions, I'll just like to answer and clear certain air on how the ecosystem is at IIM Ahmedabad, and then I'll take more questions as we proceed. Hi Ritik, hi Nitish, hi Shubhankar, hi Udit. I'll just take your questions subsequently. I'll just cover how the ecosystem is at IIM Ahmedabad specifically. So at IIM Ahmedabad, there's a lot of focus on academics, lot of focus on extracurriculars, and lot of focus on a holistic development of a student. The college opens a plethora of opportunities for everyone there. I think what depends is how you grasp, how you take hold of those opportunities and benefit from them. I think that's the whole essence of the system. I mean, you have so many guest lecturers coming to the college, which also are renowned and respected in their own fields, whom we look up to, and there's so much to learn up from them. And then simultaneously, as soon as you enter college, the process for the summer placement start, your internship placement basically. So simultaneously, you have company pre-placement talks happening where companies come and pitch the roles and the kind of cultures they have. Then simultaneously, there's a lot of things going on the clubs and societies front, because multiple societies are there and a lot of activities keep on happening around the campus. And then obviously you have the academic rigor. Since Ahmedabad's pedagogy is basically case driven, there's a lot of effort which you need to put in, to pre-read the case before you come to the class, so that you are able to answer the questions, contribute more to a healthy discussion in the class. Then there are various surprise quizzes, numerous tests that happen to test your understanding of concepts. Then there's a lot of ingrained culture and tradition in the college. So you have the dorm culture, you have the class section culture. So a lot of legacial culturally driven things which make the student bond very strong, very supportive, and very bonhomial. So that's the ecosystem of Ahmedabad specifically. I mean, even though it's cutthroat competitive, but the beauty is that whenever you face any problem, there'll be someone for you to help you. That's the beauty. And since now there's a lot of diversity in the batches of Ahmedabad, you have engineers who are toppers in their field. You have someone from from an arts background, humanities background, someone who's a fashion designer, someone who had been a Miss Delhi or some beauty pageant, and someone who's a CA, CS, CFA holder. So you have diverse people and they're experts in their own fields, and not everyone is perfect. So one might be good in one area, another person is good in some other area, and that is when those two people come in together and help each other, and that is how the ecosystem works at Ahmedabad, I think. So that's the whole beauty of the entire college, I think. And then there's a lot of alumni activity which happens, and a lot of online, offline networking events where you can reach out to your alumni, and if you have any doubt about a career, about anything, you can easily reach out to them. Then Ahmedabad also has a separate center for entrepreneurship, which is CIIE. So lot of entrepreneurial activities actually encouraged for the students. So Ahmedabad, students are given the option to opt out of the placement and be a part of CIIE, where you can test your entrepreneurial idea, and the college helps to scale it up if successful. So there's a lot of support even from the faculty as well. So that's the kind of environment. Faculties are available almost like 24/7. I must say that almost, depending from person to person, but yes. And in the dorms, you get your own personal rooms, and you have connections to the intercoms, etc. And there are also remedial sessions which are held by professors for people from diverse backgrounds who face issues on certain subjects. So I think there's a lot of push for support, for encouragement to bring out the best in oneself. That's the ecosystem at IIM, I think. So now I'd like to take more questions. Yes. Starting with Ritik. He's asking, I have 75% in 10th, 75% in 12th, and graduation 65%. Should I prepare for IIM? Ritik, I think definitely you should prepare. I think you should not be bogged down by your scores, and your scores are decent enough. They're not bad, I would say. They're not too bad, not too good, but I think the beauty of it is that, whatever is past, you should focus on your future, because what you can change is the future, not your past now. And I think I would strongly suggest you to be thorough with your CAT preparation, get a good percentile, and I think you will get a shortlist from a good college, definitely. So I think you should definitely prepare for an IIM. Then Manoj is asking, mock test does one do from start, irrespective of whether one has prepared all topics of syllabus or not? Manoj, I think from a personal experience, I would say once you are done with the basic concepts of particular areas, you should definitely start giving tests. I think the strategy should be to give mocks basis the topics which you have covered initially, and then full length mock tests should be given once you are done with the entire syllabus, done with the basics of the entire syllabus. I think then full length mock should be given then, but once you're completing step by step certain topics, you should definitely solve questions on those topics and give mock tests in those topic wise areas. I would suggest that. Then Ritik is asking, what are the skill sets should I have during my graduation? I am in my second year. Ritik, I think you should focus on building a very holistic, all-round kind of a profile, wherein those leadership qualities, those authentic, qualities and traits get displayed during the interview. And what I mean by this is that, it's okay, not everyone is not perfect. I also have my own share of weaknesses. I also have my own share of strengths. I think the focus is to play on your strengths so that the weaknesses get overshadowed. That's the idea. I think I would say. So I think for developing that skill set, I would say whatever you like doing, whatever is your hobby, whatever you enjoy most, I think that skill set you should develop. I think nothing should be forced upon yourself. Whichever area you feel like doing, whichever get satisfaction from, I think that area you should pursue, and that will automatically become your stronghold, and your it will become your skill set eventually. So I think you should focus on pursuing things which you like, which you're passionate about, and which gives you a lot of satisfaction. Okay, Ritik? Yeah. Next is a question by Nitish. Nitish is asking, I'm working as an administrative officer in PSU General Insurance Company, having an arts background. What are the chances of getting an IIM call if I score more than 95 percentile? I think that is definitely, given the kind of hypothetical situation you've told me, like 95 percentile. I think yes, definitely you can get a call, but I think I'll need to know more about your 10, 12 graduation marks, because as mentioned in my previous session, where I in detail covered the admission process of IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore. There are various weightages given to numerous parameters, and which needs to be considered. You can refer to my earlier session as well. I think you will get more clarity about the admissions process, and I think you will be able better to yourself answer your question. But I think given the information you've told here, I think you do have a good chance if you are able to score 95 plus percentile. Then, hi Subankar, you asking what was your first job company after IMA? I think Subankar, I'm bound by confidentiality issues, but yes, my first job was in a management consulting firm after IMA. I hope I am able to answer your question. Hi Udit. Udit is asking, so how many hours of studying for CAT is sufficient? Udit, I think, see, it's a very personal question. It depends on your personal strengths and weaknesses. And, you might be thinking that, I'm saying it depends. But it actually depends, because people have their own strengths and weaknesses in areas. And then depending on the situation, maybe you're a college grad, you are just, in your second year or in your final year of graduation, you have time to spare for your preparation. Once you are in a full-time job, I think managing preparation along with the job becomes very difficult. But I think the sufficient amount of time required for preparation is sufficient when you are able to score good in your mocks, when your basics are clear. So I think as long as you have sufficient sufficient amount of time before a CAT exam, I think first is that. Second is the amount of hours you're able to put in a day. I think if I were to take my case, I along with my job gave approximately 2 hours every day on weekdays, and weekends I used to wholly dedicate to my CAT preparation, and I think that helped me. So that was my personal preference, but depends what suits you best. I think you should definitely try to brush up concepts as soon as possible, and then focus on giving mocks and clearing the basics of it. Okay. Hi Simi. Hi Kritika. Hi the count by the name KKK. So Simi is asking. Yeah, yes, nice, Simi, very nice. Simi is answering to Prince. She said that she was also weak at English, but after working on reading, speaking, writing, listening, she's improved a lot. And Simi, you're very correct. In my previous sessions, also where I covered how to the VARC section, I also stressed on these things only, and I think You all can, all those who have doubts on improving English, acing the VR section, please refer to that video. I think that should answer all your queries and should be very helpful and fruitful for you. Yes. Then Ritik is asking, sir, right now I am at second year BCom. I have worked on McDonald's, Zomato, and other digital marketing firms. My focus on getting corporate experience. So, am I at right path? Ritik, I suppose you've worked with McDonald's, Zomato as a part-time, employee. First, second, if I think, yeah, I mean, you're asking whether getting corporate experience is right or not. I think it is right. It is good because firstly, when you go for an MBA, you actually are able to apply a lot of practical knowledge which you've learned while being at a corporate company to the case study methodology, specifically in the case of IIM Ahmedabad. I think that helps in leaps and bounds, and it really is helpful. Firstly, second is I think depends on your personal preference. If you're planning to go for an MBA from abroad, for example, I would suggest definitely then gain more work experience, maybe 5 to 6 years, because the whole idea of an MBA abroad is to have people with work experience and so that they can contribute more to the classroom. That's their ideology. In India, things are very different. Mostly in the Premier B schools such as IIMs and other schools such as SPJ and MDI, there's a mix of batch in terms of diversity of work experience. You have freshers, you have people with 1 to 2 years of work experience, etc. So I think it's a personal calling whether you immediately want to go for an MBA after your undergrad or whether you want to go and gain experience. Then I think since you're gaining experience working for firms such as McDonald's, Zomato, I think definitely you will be getting a flavor of things. So I think you'll be better in a position to answer this yourself, I think. Hi Kritika. Uh, she's asking, good evening. I create fashion related content on Instagram. Just want to know, could it be considered as a point to be added? Yes, yes. Definitely, Kritika, definitely. I mean, as I mentioned before, your hobbies, your extracurricular activities, or your activities apart from work or academics definitely count. And Instagram stories and Instagram related content is at rage these days. Very upcoming thing, and a lot of people are earning a lot through all these mediums and channels. And definitely it can be a talking point during our interviews at IIMs and the Premier B School. These are definitely a plus point. So you should definitely take it as a point of strength for yourself. Definitely. Then Triple K account is asking, so I got 84 percentile in 2020. If your CADs are average, is there possible to get into an IIM if I perform better? Yes, definitely. I think even with average CADs, I've seen people getting into IIM Ahmedabad. Imagine into IIM Ahmedabad as well. And please refer to my earlier video where I've talked in detail about what is the admission criteria at IIM Ahmedabad, and I think you will be better able to see and sense how does the admission process work at IIM Ahmedabad. Please refer to that video. It should definitely help you, and definitely so there are multiple parameters which get assessed while getting an IIM score and converting it. So even if your academics are average, and if your other parameters are overshadowing those scores, definitely you do have a chance to get a call and convert it. So there are multiple factors. Whatever is past is past. I would just repeat that again. Past is past. Please focus on your future. Get a good CAT percentile. Prepare well for your interview, and you should be able to clear it. That should not be a limiting factor for you. So next question is by Shilu. Hi Shilu. Hi Prachi. Hi Joshi. I shall be coming to your questions. So Shilu is asking, so I'm a BCom second year and don't have any job experience. So is it possible to get into IIM? Yes, Shilu, yes. You can definitely get into IIM without any work experience because you're still in your second year BCom. I mean, you're not even expected to have work experience because you're just in your second year BCom. What you can do is, you have more internships, more extracurricular activities which can add to your profile. And if you're able to clear your CAT, in your final year, when you're in the final year of bachelor's, you can definitely get a good B school and directly join a MBA college for an MBA. So that's definitely possible. That should not be a concern for you. Yes, Joshi. Yes, similar. Your question is similar to Shilu. You can definitely join an IIM without work experience. They do also take freshers. Yes. Prachi is asking, sir, job experience really matters a lot. Prachi, basis my personal experience, I don't think it really matters a lot. In my batch, we had multiple people who were freshers, multiple people who also had gap years, multiple people with 1 year of experience. People also had an experience of 5 years. So there was a diverse set of people and diverse set of students which we had, and I think all of them are doing successfully well in their lives. So I think that should not be a problem. And it is, I think, a case based, case here. Yeah. Yes, we have another question by the account name Triple K. He's saying, sir, there's one more dilemma. These days it's hard to find a job in my area of expertise. So should I opt for another line of work or should I wait for the right one? I think I would say you should definitely try to find the job of your interest. But then I would also recommend not to waste time in only finding if you're not able to, find it after repeated attempts. What I would suggest in such a case is that, you take up a job very near or very similar to your interests and passion, and then also be on a constant hunt simultaneously for that coveted job or area which you want to work in. I think that should be a strategy because every time you put is like kind of an opportunity cost involved, and you should not waste it. My suggestion is that. Shilu is asking, sir, but people with job experience get the preference. Shilu, you should definitely refer to my one of the earlier videos where I've talked about the placement process at IIM Ahmedabad, and how does the companies hire, and specifically to just give you a brief, since you've asked this question, uh, at Ahmedabad there are many companies which come, and each one has their own set of preferences for students. There are companies who prefer freshers. There are companies who prefer people with work experience. So there's no shortage of companies basis the kind of profile you have or which area you're looking for. I think the idea here should be to identify which field you want to get into, and how can you get there. So for example, I'm just taking a case here, a hypothetical case. Mostly in the case of you have these marketing companies who come for the management training programs. So the management training programs are typically programs which are for freshers. Since freshers have no work experience, companies want to train them, mold them into their culture and their processes. That is why they are trainees, management trainees. So such companies who have management training programs, they prefer freshers definitely. And then there are companies which come for lateral placements, that is for placements where only people with work experience can sit. So I think there's no dearth or there's no shortage of opportunities for both the set of people. So that does not really matter, I think. Then yeah. Hi Harsh Sagar. Hi. There's a question by the account name Chiggy Plays. He or she is asking, is it necessary to take up internship before MBA? I think it definitely helps during your interviews as well, and also once you join an MBA college, during your internship preparations and final placements, internships do matter. I think recruiters also, specifically in the case of freshers, recruiters do see that what is the kind of activities you've involved in during undergraduation. So I think definitely it helps. But I think the point is to do a meaningful internship before an MBA, which adds a lot of value to your profile and your learning. I think that should be the key. Jaggu Singh is asking, sir, just for the purpose of making money and secure job, should someone go for MBA? Jaggu, I think if this is the sole motive of purpose of making money and secure job, I think that someone can also get without an MBA. I think if these two are the only criteria which you're going for an MBA, I think then, I think personally from my side, it's a no-no. MBA is just, I mean, there's a notion among lot of us that, once I do this MBA, so, itna paisa milega, I'll get that 1,000 crore salary and this lakh salary and all that. I think, you need to look beyond all this. There's a lot of media hype which goes into all this, and I don't think it's good for anyone in the end. I think, I mean, personally, from my experience, it's more about what you're learning during the whole process, because a lot of energy, time, and money go into the preparation for a CAT exam and also for an MBA once you get into a good B school. So, the idea should be to develop relations which are long lasting, which last your lifetime. Uh, have those networks which are just a phone call away. Tomorrow you might be just starting a firm and you don't know, and you are stuck somewhere where you need someone's help, or maybe there's some bureaucratical issue or some other issue. So you have those networks from your college where you can just call up those peoples, and they just a call up and they help you quickly. That is one. Second is learning from those experienced faculty. At least most of the faculty at IIM Ahmedabad, they have a PhD, and from very good universities from across the globe. The kind of learning, the kind of practical concepts they bring in, they're just unparalleled. I have never in my life before IIM Ahmedabad, I think, gone through such academic rigor, and that also qualityed academic rigor. I can definitely vouch for this. So I think the idea should be to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the whole essence of being a human who's constantly updated and aware, and who's also constantly growing. In a whole life as humans, growth does not stop. You have skin cells which grow, die out. It's just kind of a cyclical process which keeps on going on. And similar is the case with learning. Once you think that you have become master in that field, that is the day of end of yours. Growth and change are the only constant thing in the world, and I think that should be a motive. And the motive for an MBA should be to learn, to network, to meet new people, to understand from the perspectives, and placement is kind of a added bonus, I would say, which definitely comes in your hand. So that should be a motive, I think. Thanks, Jagu. Thanks. So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the session today. I hope I was able to answer all your queries. And tomorrow is a very important session lined up. It's one of the last sessions in my series, for the current series. And tomorrow is an open Q&A live session for all. I would definitely urge all of you to call all your friends, all those MB aspirants, and encourage them to come for my session tomorrow on Gradeup's platform at 9 p.m. It's purely a Q&A session. I'll be taking up multiple questions and answers which you have, any doubts, any clarifications, and I'll be happy to answer them. It's a pure Q&A session tomorrow. So please come out and turn out in large numbers. Make the most benefit of my sessions and benefit from them. So hope to see you soon. Thank you. See you soon tomorrow at 9 p.m. Bye.